Welcome, beautiful damsels. In silence she sharpens her mind. In solitude she fortifies her soul. Only a fool would mistake her quiet for weakness. The Sigma female is unlike anyone you've encountered. Independent, resilient, and fiercely self-reliant, she navigates life on her own terms, indifferent to societal expectations and immune to manipulation. Yet some dare to underestimate her, mistaking her calm demeanor for passivity. But here's the brutal truth. Attempting to bully a Sigma female is a grave mistake, a battle you've lost before it even begins. She doesn't play by your rules, and when you try to drag her down, you'll quickly discover the terrifying power of someone who answers to no one. In the following reasons, you'll learn exactly why bullying a Sigma female isn't just futile. It's a risk to your own ego, reputation, and sense of control. Prepare yourself. This is a confrontation you're not equipped to handle. Number 1, she's mentally unbreakable. You can't crack her. Trying to break a Sigma female mentally is like trying to bend steel with your bare hands. It's not going to happen. She has built her confidence from the inside out, and no amount of external pressure, ridicule, or manipulation will shatter that. She doesn't need approval from others to feel secure, and that makes her untouchable in a way that most people aren't. A bully's main weapon is the ability to make someone doubt themselves, but the Sigma female's self-worth isn't something you can easily chip away at. It's rock solid. While most people are vulnerable to emotional manipulation, needing validation from their peers or society, the Sigma female doesn't look outside herself for any of that. She has already done the inner work. She's learned how to be alone, how to face her own insecurities, and how to grow through them. That's what makes her immune to the typical tactics of belittling or undermining. When someone tries to put her down, it doesn't land. She recognizes it for what it is, an attempt to make her feel small, and she simply doesn't give it power. A bully thrives on finding emotional weak spots, but the Sigma female doesn't have any obvious ones. Her emotions aren't something you can easily manipulate. She has an incredible sense of emotional independence. If you're looking to get a reaction, you're wasting your time. She won't give you the satisfaction of anger, frustration, or sadness. Instead, she'll maintain her composure, unmoved by whatever tactics are thrown her way. At the end of the day, you can't break someone who's built their foundation on their own terms. Her mental strength is her armor, and no matter how hard you try, you simply won't be able to break through it. Number 2, her silence is more deadly than your words. When a Sigma female faces an attack, she doesn't immediately react. Instead, she chooses silence. Not because she's weak, but because she's smart. Her silence is her way of stepping back, analyzing the situation, and deciding how or if she wants to respond. To most people, silence feels uncomfortable or vulnerable, but to her, it's power. She understands that words can be used against her, twisted and manipulated to escalate a situation. So she opts out of the petty back and forth and holds her peace, knowing that staying quiet keeps her in control. But don't mistake that silence for inaction. While others might react impulsively, giving their bullies the satisfaction of a response, the Sigma female is quietly assessing the situation from every angle. She's reading your intentions, picking apart your tactics, and finding where your weaknesses lie. Every moment she stays silent, she's gathering the knowledge she'll need if and when she decides to respond. And here's the catch. When she finally makes her move, it won't be a dramatic outburst or a heated argument. She's not interested in playing your game. Instead, she'll strike with precision, in a way that leaves no room for retaliation. It might be in the form of cutting ties, exposing your insecurities, or simply walking away, leaving you confused and powerless. Her silence forces you into a position of uncertainty, which is a place no bully wants to be. It leaves you guessing, wondering what she's thinking, and when or if she'll respond. By staying silent, she flips the dynamic entirely. You thought you had control, but in the end, she's the one with the upper hand. Number 3. She observes, then dismantles you systematically. The Sigma female is always observing, even when you think she's not paying attention. While most people react to conflict in the heat of the moment, she's different. She doesn't rush in with emotions flaring or words flying. Instead, she steps back, watches, and studies every move you make. While you're busy trying to tear her down, she's quietly gathering information, and this is where her real power lies. She doesn't need to shout or engage in a war of words. Instead, she lets you show your hand. Every insult you throw, every attempt to undermine her is filed away in her mind, where she's piecing together a bigger picture of who you are. You see, the Sigma female isn't just looking at what you say or do, she's looking at why. She's analyzing your motivations, your weaknesses, and the insecurities driving your behavior. And while you think you're in control, you're actually just handing her all the tools she needs to dismantle you. When she finally does act, it's never impulsive or sloppy. By the time she responds, she's already worked out the outcome in her head. She's figured out the exact moment, the precise way to strike back that leaves no room for recovery. It might not even look like retaliation in the traditional sense. Sometimes her response is so subtle you don't even realize you've been beaten until much later. She'll expose your insecurities, call out your behavior in a way that's impossible to deny, or simply walk away, leaving you powerless and questioning everything. Her ability to observe and understand people on a deeper level makes her dangerous to those who try to hurt her. She doesn't need to match your aggression to win. She plays a different game entirely, and one that you're simply not prepared for. Number 4, she masters the art of outlasting. The Sigma female is a long-term thinker, and that makes her nearly impossible to defeat in any conflict. While most people get caught up in the immediate drama, reacting impulsively and emotionally, she's already thinking ahead. She knows that reacting in the moment can be a trap, one that bullies often set to get a quick, satisfying response. But she won't fall for it. Instead, she bides her time because she understands that patience is one of her greatest strengths. She's not interested in winning small battles. She's focused on the war. And in the long run, time is always on her side. Bullies tend to thrive on immediate reactions, feeding off the chaos and attention they create. But a Sigma female isn't playing their short-sighted game. She knows that the people who react emotionally often lose their footing, make mistakes, and reveal their weaknesses. So she waits. She lets the situation unfold, watching as the bully's impatience, desperation, or immaturity starts to show. The longer she remains calm, the more the bully's tactics begin to unravel. While others may get caught up in the heat of the moment, the Sigma female is thinking about consequences, not just for now, but for the future. She's calculating how each move will play out, not just for herself, but for the bully as well. She's looking at how their actions will eventually catch up with them, how their own behavior will lead to their downfall. And when she finally acts, if she chooses to, it's with precision and purpose, in a way that not only ends the conflict, but leaves a lasting impact. In the end, the bully's short-term thinking is no match for the Sigma female's ability to outlast, outsmart, and outmaneuver. She's not just surviving the conflict, she's mastering it. And that's a game bullies can never win. Number 5, your group tactics won't intimidate her. A Sigma female isn't intimidated by numbers, and that's what makes her a rare force to deal with. While most people fear being singled out or ganged up on, she's different. She stands alone by choice, not because she doesn't fit in, but because she doesn't need to. That independence is her strength, and it makes group tactics useless against her. A bully's usual approach, gathering a crowd, feeding off the power of a group, falls flat when they try to use it on a Sigma female. She doesn't care if she's outnumbered because she's never relied on anyone else for support or validation. When people gang up on her, expecting her to crumble under the weight of collective pressure, they quickly realize it doesn't work. She's immune to the kind of social manipulation that keeps others in line. Groupthink has no hold on her. While many people might feel the need to conform or submit in order to avoid isolation, the Sigma female thrives in that space. She's spent her entire life cultivating her own identity, separate from the crowd, and no amount of peer pressure can sway her from who she is. Her strength lies in the fact that she's not playing the game most people are playing. She's not seeking approval or acceptance, so taking that away from her doesn't affect her. The group's opinion doesn't matter to her, and the tactics that work on others, exclusion, gossip, or ridicule, fall on deaf ears. She doesn't need their approval, and because of that, she's free from the fear that bullies use to control others. Ultimately, when a bully tries to use the power of a group against a Sigma female, they find themselves frustrated. She doesn't flinch, she doesn't waver, and the more they push, the more they expose their own weakness, not hers. Number 6. Your opinions are meaningless in her world. One of the biggest mistakes a bully can make when targeting a Sigma female is assuming that their opinions matter to her. The truth is, they don't. She operates in a world where other people's judgments have no power over her sense of self. Bullying thrives on the belief that the victim cares about what others think, but a Sigma female has long since freed herself from that trap. She's learned that living by someone else's approval is a prison, and she refuses to be confined by it. When someone tries to criticize or belittle her, she simply doesn't internalize it. Where most people would second-guess themselves, replay the insults in their minds, or even start to believe the negativity, she does none of that. Your words are just noise to her, empty, meaningless, and irrelevant to the way she views herself. She knows who she is and has no interest in letting anyone's negative opinion shake her foundation. It's not arrogance, it's clarity. She's done the hard work of building a solid sense of self-worth, and nothing you say can take that away from her. A bully's power comes from the ability to get inside their target's head, to make them doubt themselves, to twist their self-image. But that door is closed when it comes to the Sigma female. She spent too much time creating her own standards to let anyone else's judgment hold weight. And the more a bully tries to push their opinions on her, the clearer it becomes that they're wasting their energy. This emotional independence frustrates bullies because it takes away their leverage. They thrive on emotional reactions, but the Sigma female gives them none. She doesn't need to convince you that she's enough. She knows she is, and your opinion is simply irrelevant. Number 7. She's always 3 steps ahead. A Sigma female is always thinking several steps ahead. While most people are caught up in the moment, reacting to what's happening right now, she's already mapping out the future. This ability to anticipate what's coming gives her a huge advantage in any situation, especially when dealing with a bully. She's not just seeing the surface-level interaction. You call her a name, she ignores it, and it ends there. No, she's already thinking about where this path leads, how your actions are connected to your insecurities, and what your endgame might be. By the time you think you've rattled her, she's already calculated her next move. That's the thing with a Sigma female. She's rarely caught off guard. She observes people carefully, picks up on patterns, and knows when someone is trying to manipulate or provoke her. She might not say much in the moment, but she's mentally processing everything. And because she's thinking ahead, she knows when to act and, more importantly, when not to. She's strategic in how she responds, never wasting her energy on unnecessary conflicts or impulsive reactions. Bullies often count on their targets being emotional or reactive, but the Sigma female doesn't fall into that trap. She understands that reacting too quickly usually plays into the bully's hands. Instead, she chooses her timing carefully, waiting for the moment that benefits her the most. She's not trying to win a quick argument or prove a point in the heat of the moment. She's playing the long game, and by the time you realize she's already made her move, it's too late to reverse it. Her ability to think ahead, stay calm, and remain in control of her emotions means that she's never just a victim of circumstance. She's always in charge of her own path, even when someone tries to throw her off course. Number 8. She can expose your insecurities without lifting a finger. A Sigma female has a unique talent for exposing insecurities without even trying. She doesn't need to shout, argue, or stoop to anyone's level. In fact, she often does nothing at all, and that's exactly what makes her so effective. When someone tries to bully her, she doesn't respond with anger or retaliation. Instead, she lets the bully's own behavior speak for itself. Her calm, detached demeanor acts like a mirror, reflecting back everything the bully is projecting. And what they see is uncomfortable. It's their own insecurities and weaknesses laid bare. By staying composed, she forces the bully to confront their own behavior. Bullies thrive on controlling the narrative. making their victim feel small or inadequate. But when they face a Sigma female, she doesn't give them the reaction they crave. There's no anger, no frustration, no visible signs that they've gotten under her skin. Instead, she remains steady, and that lack of reaction makes the bully's efforts seem desperate and ultimately ineffective. This is where the Sigma female's true power lies. She has no need to attack or defend herself in the traditional sense. Her strength comes from her ability to let the bully's insecurities unravel on their own. The more they push, the more obvious it becomes that the issue isn't with her, it's with them. She doesn't need to call it out or make a scene. The bully's attempts to belittle her only serve to highlight their own shortcomings. In the end, it becomes clear who is really in control. The Sigma female remains unfazed, while the bully is left grappling with the realization that their behavior is a reflection of their own inner turmoil. And that's the real victory. She doesn't have to fight back because she's already won. Number 9. She'll rise stronger, and you'll stay the same. The Sigma female possesses an unshakable sense of authenticity that makes her a formidable opponent to any bully. She's not just confident, she's unapologetically herself. In a world filled with pretense and facades, she stands out by living in her truth, which makes her nearly immune to the tactics of those who thrive on deception and manipulation. When bullies try to impose their narratives on her, she doesn't bend or twist herself to fit their expectations. Instead, she remains firmly grounded in her identity, which only amplifies her strength. This authenticity acts as a shield. A bully may attempt to throw insults or criticisms, but because she knows who she is, those attempts feel empty and irrelevant. She doesn't waste her time trying to prove herself to anyone else. Her self-awareness and clarity allow her to brush off negativity with ease. The more a bully pushes, the more they reveal their own insecurities, while she remains untouched by their words. Moreover, her ability to be real creates an air of respect around her. People are drawn to authenticity, and when they see someone who is genuine, it often earns them admiration. This respect can turn the tide against a bully, isolating them even further. The bully's tactics can backfire spectacularly. Instead of rallying support, they might find others rallying around the Sigma female, drawn by her confidence and authenticity. When a Sigma female stands firm in her truth, she becomes an inspiration for others, showing them that they don't have to conform or submit to external pressures. The bully's attempts at domination suddenly seem petty in comparison to her unwavering strength. The contrast is stark. One is built on insecurity, while the other stands tall on the foundation of self-acceptance. In this battle, authenticity triumphs and the Sigma female emerges unscathed while the bully is left floundering. Number 10. You're not ready for her counterattack. When you confront a Sigma female, you're engaging with someone who possesses an innate ability to redefine the very concept of power dynamics. She doesn't conform to traditional roles of victimhood or aggression. Instead, she rewrites the rules of engagement, turning the tables on anyone who tries to bully her. Her strength lies in her independence and self-reliance, which gives her a unique perspective that others often fail to grasp. While many are caught up in the need for validation, she thrives in her own solitude, and that's what makes her a tough opponent. What's most intriguing is how she uses this independence to her advantage. A bully typically seeks to assert control, believing they can dominate through fear or intimidation. However, a Sigma female is not just unbothered by their tactics. She actively dismantles their attempts at control. When she remains steadfast in her autonomy, she not only rejects their influence but also exposes the futility of their actions. The bully's power crumbles when confronted with someone who doesn't need to seek approval or recognition from others. This unwavering independence becomes a catalyst for transformation, not just for herself but for those around her. People often look to her as a model of strength, realizing that they too can reclaim their own power. As she stands firm in her individuality, she inspires others to break free from the chains of social expectations and peer pressure. In the end, the Sigma female teaches an important lesson. True strength doesn't come from dominating others, but from owning who you are and living by your own rules. When faced with her resilience, bullies often find themselves questioning their own motives. realizing that their attempts to assert control were never truly effective. This shift not only disarms them but also creates a ripple effect, inspiring a culture of empowerment rather than fear. In a world where bullying often thrives on intimidation and fear, the Sigma female stands as a beacon of resilience and strength. Her unique qualities, self-sufficiency, emotional intelligence, and authenticity allow her to navigate confrontations with an unmatched grace and composure. By refusing to be controlled by external opinions, embracing her independence, and strategically disengaging from toxic interactions, she not only protects her own peace, but also inspires those around her to do the same. The lessons learned from the Sigma female extend far beyond her individual experiences. They remind us all that true power comes from within, and that self-awareness is our greatest shield against negativity. While bullies may rely on tactics that can intimidate others, they ultimately find themselves disarmed when facing someone who understands their worth and refuses to engage in their game. In a society that often glorifies conformity and submission, the Sigma female challenges the status quo, teaching us that strength lies in standing true to oneself. Her journey is a testament to the idea that when you know who you are, no one can diminish your spirit. As we reflect on her attributes, we are encouraged to cultivate our own inner strength, embrace our individuality, and approach life's challenges with the same fearless independence that defines her. In doing so, we not only empower ourselves, but also create a ripple effect that can inspire others to rise above and reject the culture of bullying altogether. If you found this exploration of the Sigma female's strength inspiring, subscribe to our channel for more empowering content. Join our community as we celebrate authenticity and share insights that help you rise above negativity. Hit that subscribe button and be part of our journey toward empowerment and self-discovery. Your voice matters, and we want you with us. Thanks, damsels, for tuning in. See you in the next vid. Bye and stay blessed.